Maine lobster isn't just a seafood dish, it's a symbol of the rugged beauty of the Maine coastline and a taste of the North Atlantic's purest waters. Caught by over 4,000 licensed lobstermen, these lobsters grow slowly in the cold waters, resulting in their famously sweet, tender meat that has become a delicacy worldwide. With its rich flavor and juicy texture, Maine lobster is the seafood superstar that's loved by all. Maine lobster fishing is more than just a livelihood, it's a deeply ingrained tradition passed down through generations of families along the coast of New England. Every day, lobstermen head out in their small boats, braving the cold waters of the Atlantic Ocean to set their baited traps. These special traps, known as pots, sit on the ocean floor and are marked with bright floating buoys. Their design allows young lobsters and other sea creatures to escape, ensuring a sustainable lobster population for future generations. Fishermen carefully monitor their traps, checking for the perfect-sized lobsters. Only those that meet the size requirements are kept, ensuring the health of the lobster population and guaranteeing a premium product. The journey of a Maine lobster begins long before it's caught. As larvae, lobsters are planktonic, drifting in the ocean's water column and vulnerable to predators. This fragile stage is one of the reasons Maine has invested heavily in lobster hatcheries, which help these larvae survive the dangers of their early life. Once hatched, the larvae are nurtured in special tanks that mimic ocean currents, feeding on small live food like copepods and krill. After about 2 weeks, the larvae settle to the bottom of the tank and begin to resemble small adult lobsters. These juveniles are then moved to growing units, where they continue to grow until they are large enough to be released back into the wild. Lobsters, especially Maine lobsters, have an interesting and complex life cycle. Understanding this life cycle not only helps fishermen catch them more efficiently but also plays a crucial role in preserving and sustaining this valuable species. Lobster hatcheries have become an essential part of helping and protecting lobsters, ensuring they can grow and thrive sustainably in the wild. Below is a detailed analysis of the lobster life cycle and the role of hatcheries in protecting and maintaining this species. Lobsters begin their lives as planktonic larvae, a stage where newly hatched lobsters float freely in the water column. During this phase, they are highly vulnerable to predators and environmental factors, making this a critical and fragile period for the lobster. They drift in the currents, which further increases their vulnerability. Benefits of hatcheries: this stage is especially important, and many lobster hatcheries have been established to help protect larvae. Hatcheries provide a safe environment for the larvae to develop, helping them survive this vulnerable stage. The tanks in hatcheries are designed to mimic ocean currents, allowing the larvae to remain suspended as they would in the wild, greatly improving their survival rate. Once the larvae develop, they enter the juvenile stage, where they settle on the ocean floor and start taking on the physical characteristics of adult lobsters, such as their hard shells, claws, and eyes. However, they are still very small and remain vulnerable to predators. Hatchery transition: after developing from larvae, juvenile lobsters are transferred to growing units such as raceways or aqua hives. These units provide an ideal space for the juvenile lobsters to grow safely, allowing them to develop quickly and be ready to be released back into the wild once they reach the right size. After going through the earlier developmental stages, lobsters gradually mature and grow to their full adult size in the natural environment. Maine lobsters, in particular, can live for several decades and can grow quite large. During this stage, lobsters reproduce, continuing their life cycle. Reproduction process: adult lobsters participate in the reproduction process, with females carrying their eggs underneath their bodies during the incubation period. When the eggs hatch, they enter the planktonic phase and the life cycle begins again. Lobster hatcheries play a crucial role in protecting and growing lobster populations. By raising lobsters from larvae to juveniles, hatcheries help protect the natural lobster resource while ensuring that the species remains abundant and healthy. Here are some important roles that hatcheries play. Increasing larval survival rates: one of the main benefits of hatcheries is their ability to protect lobster larvae during their most vulnerable phase. In the wild, the survival rate of larvae is low, but when raised in hatcheries, this rate significantly increases. Protecting marine resources: by releasing juvenile lobsters back into the wild, hatcheries help maintain a sustainable lobster population, preventing overfishing and supporting the long-term health of lobster resources. Supporting biodiversity: hatcheries not only help maintain the lobster species but also contribute to marine biodiversity. By nurturing lobsters in a safe and natural environment, hatcheries ensure they develop properly, which in turn supports the overall health of the ocean ecosystem. When juvenile lobsters reach an appropriate size, they are released back into the ocean to continue growing in the natural environment. Lobster hatcheries carefully select healthy, robust lobsters that can survive and thrive in the wild. This process of releasing juvenile lobsters is essential for maintaining the lobster population and ensuring the species' sustainability in the wild. Once lobsters are caught, the journey doesn't end. In Greenhead, Maine, around 42 fishing boats operate, delivering their fresh catch to facilities where each lobster is carefully graded and sorted. At the lobster handling station, the lobsters are placed on a conveyor belt, sorted by size, and separated into premium catches and culls, those with one claw or small claws. Lobsters are then processed using a high-pressure processing (HPP) machine that uses 50,000 psi of pressure to instantly and humanely kill the lobsters, ensuring their quality and freshness. This method is the fastest and most humane available. After being processed, skilled workers clean and remove the intestinal tract from each lobster tail to ensure a premium, clean product for consumers. The tails are then immersed in a salt brine bath to chill and clean them before passing through a nitrogen tunnel for flash freezing. This quick freezing locks in the lobster's fresh flavor and texture. Before being packaged and shipped, the lobsters undergo multiple quality checks to guarantee that they meet the highest standards. Whether they're served in a lobster roll, as a whole lobster, or as a frozen delicacy, Maine lobsters maintain their sweet, tender meat and rich, succulent flavor. For international exports, lobsters are carefully packed in special containers to maintain their freshness during transport. For the European market, lobsters are packed in 8K boxes, each containing about 8 kilograms of lobster in 15 separate compartments. Frozen gel packs are added to keep the lobsters cool, and each lobster is carefully placed with the claw up and tail down, mimicking their natural environment to ensure they remain moist and fresh. But did you know that the ocean holds other fascinating creatures besides lobster? Enter the world of jumbo squid fishing, a daring venture that takes fishermen to the deep ocean at night. Jumbo squids, also known as Humboldt squid, can grow up to 2 meters long and weigh 50 kilograms, making them formidable opponents in the world of fishing. These squids roam the ocean in massive schools, using their hunting skills to catch prey. At night, they are drawn to powerful lights, making them easier to catch. Fishermen use specialized equipment like jigging machines and hand lines to catch these giant squids, navigating rough seas and unpredictable weather to bring their catch back to shore.